So Mr. Take That, P. Diddy decided to finally give publishing rights back to his bad boy artists. And a lot of these artists are not having it. They are not having it. They think this is shady business. And I agree. I'm going to do a full video on why it's shady. But let's just say doing this now is a slap in the face when they're publishing. It has no real value. Most of these people, they're artists from the past. They made their money back in the 90s. And Diddy accumulated all that wealth all off the back of all these people and artists that signed to Bad Boy Records. This is shameful, shameful shit. Talk about a person that his name has been dragged through the mud, and we know why, right? Has a lot to do with Kim Porter dying at 47 from pneumonia, a lot to do with his shady business deals, and also, rumors about his sexuality. So I'm citing this Variety article, but there's dozens and dozens that I've seen come out talking about these deals and how bad these deals were. And it's kind of like it points in the direction of why artists and people signing contracts need to get legal advice. They need to have the right people in their corner. And if you're not sure about something and your gut is telling you it doesn't feel right, you need to step out and say, I can do this on my own, or I could figure something else out. This is the perfect example of people who have sold their soul, now feeling like they've been shafted, they got a raw deal. And it's like, but you signed the contract. You did it to yourself. I don't know when people are going to learn to take accountability. Take accountability, move on, make better decisions. And now with streaming being the main way people get their content, streaming platforms like Spotify, iHeartRadio, all of these different mechanisms has made it harder for artists to capitalize. And so giving publishing back from music that they made in the 90s is like a real slap in the face to the artists. We've seen it with Aubrey O'Day. I saw her in an interview and I was floored. Guys, she was sitting there talking about how shady this deal was. And I'm paraphrasing. She said basically that Diddy wants to give them back their publishing, meaning all the artists, Danity Kane. She was a part of Danity Kane. And by the way, she was one of my favorites. I liked her. But she said that he wanted them to sign these NDAs, right? You cannot talk about Diddy. You can't say anything negative about him in the press. You can't open your mouth about him after you sign this new contract deal to get your publishing. And I thought, wow, the shade. And just the crappiness of how Diddy operates tells you he's a shrewd guy. He's a businessman. He doesn't give a shit about people. And he only cares about himself and his own public image. I would have told him to do differently. I would have told him to not try to get them to sign NDAs, give them their damn publishing. It means nothing anyway. It holds very little value at this point. And instead of sitting there and writing a love album, right? Because that to me says you're just trying so hard, have a little humility. You know what I mean? Maybe do something kind for somebody else. Actually help somebody else's career. Do something just because you can do it and you can afford to do it. And don't go bragging about it. Let the people themselves that you help come forward and talk about how much you've helped them. Now, the worst part about this is I've seen Mace over the years grow and flourish into a whole different type of person. He's come forward on many podcasts talking about the music industry, talking about how corrupt things are. So it's kind of like there's nothing more about Diddy that we all know the rumors, whether these people want to come out with their sexuality, whether they want to, stay in the shadows forever and pretend they're into women and children and all this stuff, that's none of our business. Okay. The fact remains is you guys buy the albums. You guys do it. I always say in my channel, I had a video up of Post Malone and I think her name was Amy Winehouse. And it was just a short. I was just showing what the music industry does to people overall. And it's amazing the amount of stupid comments I got about, oh my God, that's not Mac Miller. Who the hell said anything about Mac Miller? I clearly said #Post Malone in my video. And the fact remains is, yes, the music industry does do it to you because the music industry provides you with the environment that you need to continue your addictions, to continue all of your drug addictions, your alcohol addictions. It is set up that way to keep you dumb. And I'm sorry to say it, but a lot of artists, a lot of people who are, musically inclined, or people who are gifted in art, they really don't have the kind of support system sometimes. Those people, they use art to show what they've been through. And that's why music resonates with me from artists who have had hurt and struggle and pain, because they've been through so much. They've had enough hurt. They've had enough heartbreaks. They've had enough struggle. Tell me when you've ever listened to an artist that grew up in a fucking mansion, like a Paris Hilton making an album, or what's her name? The woman that was on Real Housewives made a pop album. Like, it doesn't resonate because these people have no story to tell. So obviously Diddy understood this. Diddy understood. He's a person, you could tell, that is an opportunist and takes advantage of people that are vulnerable, that are weak, that do not have the structure in play, and they'll accept anything because anything's better than nothing. Most of these people were given nothing. Most of these people that signed with Bad Boy and, came out of nowhere were people that were struggling. You know what I mean? Just look at Biggie Smalls and look at how his whole operation went down. Look at anybody from the 2000s, I would say the 90s and the 2000s era, that were signed to Death Row or to Bad Boy Records. All those artists were people that were struggling to come up. And any kind of money, any promise of money, any promise of fame made them sign these stupid contracts. This is why, honestly, I want to feel sorry. Trust me, I want to feel sorry. But I take the opposite, less, mainstream approach to this, which is you did it to yourself. You did it to yourself because you don't think, and you're too lusting for money. And as for Diddy, I hardly doubt he's going to ever get a shot to change his image the right way, because guess what? These people are in Hollywood. These people are in the depths of hell, are surrounded around people who have no concept of morality. So until he moves and maybe goes to the country for a little bit and goes and does some deep thinking or anything, he's not going to change his image. We're still going to think of you as a bad boy, just like your record company. We still going to think of you as a dude that has shady shit behind him and is not somebody to fucking be trusted. So you can try as you want. It's not going to happen, my love. Anyways, I hope you guys have a blessed day, and remember to think for yourself.